Good night, Papua New Guinea, and thanks for joining me on another great, exciting episode of Sports In. Before we get things rolling, here is what's coming up on the show for tonight. We have representatives from Cricket PNG, Richard Don and Margaret Sibona, as well as the Port Moresby Softball Association competition manager and the vice president. They will be joining me shortly on the show tonight. But before we do that, I hope your weekend or your week was wonderfully spent. I spent a lot of my weekends on the field covering sporting events, and one of the major events that I covered was the main game, CRU main game between Kerema brothers and Moniplus Nova. This game went right down to the wire, with Nova taking the lead in the first half, and brothers had to fight their way back to finish off the game with a 29-27 victory. Also, the other main event that I covered was the elimination finals between Gazelle and Bears. Both teams were locked at 2-2 before Gazelle came back from behind to win the match and secure a preliminary final spot against Defence this weekend. All right, before we go straight into our segments, let's take a look at the weekend previews, starting with NRL Round 17. In the NRL Round 17, Warriors 48 defeated the Dragons on 18. Eels 48 defeated the Dolphins on 20. Panthers 20 defeating the Newcastle Knights on 12 points. The Melbourne Storms 24 running out victorious over Sea Eagles on 6 points. Titans 18 beat the Broncos on 12. The Cowboys 31 defeating Rabbitohs on 6 points. And the Raiders 20 points defeating Roosters on 18. In one of the highlights of the NRL Round 17 was between Brisbane Broncos and Gold Coast Titans. The game was an upset of the weekend, with Brisbane having 3 of their tries disallowed in the second half, while everything the Titans touched turned to gold. It was the Gold Coast first game since second coach Justin Holbrook during the week. This is an incredible win for the Gold Coast, and it keeps their season alive. This game has also resulted in Reece Walsh facing the NRL judiciary after insulting the match referee with abusive languages. His eligibility to play Origin 3 in Sydney is also under question mark. All right, to the Host Plus Cup Round 15 results. East Tigers 48 defeated the Jets on 24. Bears 36 walking over Tweed. Seagulls 22. Capras 30 defeating the Cutters on 22. Pride 26 defeating Blackhawks on 6. Winner Manly Seagulls 28 defeating Dolphins on 26. North Devils registering the highest point of the round with 40 points over Magpies on 6. And the PNG Hunters 34 defeating the Falcons on 10. To the PNG NRLC Round 11 results, Enga Miox 10 straight wins of the season with 18 points defeating Lake Tigers on 12. Central Dabaris and Hela Wigman drew 16 all. Couriers 34 defeating the Gulf ISO on 6. Pacific Pride caused an upset of the round, defeating Vipers on 16 points on Vipers' home turf. The Gorgolahan is 16, defeating Mendi Murugs on 14, and the Kimbe Cutters 26, defeating the Hagen Eagles. To the Capital Rugby Union Premier Men's Round 11 result, Marlins 19 walking over Crusaders on 10. Harley Queens 17 points defeating Defence on 16. Then on Sunday, Wanderers 14 points defeating Valiantas on 12, and the Brothers 29 defeating Nova on 27. To the Pomare men's A-grade round 8 results, Butterflies 17 defeating Hanua Bada Oaks on 14, Connie Tigers 10 drawing with Defence 10 all, Ohola Flies 12 defeating Tarangao on 6, the Royals 10 walking over Paga Panthers 6, Double Warriors 12 defeating Magani on 6, and Gulf West 16 overpowering the Connie Storms on 8 points. And that was all the weekend results for all the weekend activities that we covered both internationally and locally. All right, we'll take a short break now and we will return with more here on Sports In. Stick with us. Welcome back, and if you just tuned in, you're watching Sports In. All right, joining me on the show in this segment is Cricket PNG CEO Richard Dawn and CPNG's Game Development Manager Margaret Sibona. Both are here to talk about the upcoming ICC T20 Asia Pacific qualifiers and the Santos Love Cricket program that was recently launched in Kerema Town, Gulf Province. Guys, good night and welcome on board the show.
Good night, David.
Hi, David.
All right, we'll get straight into our question, but before we do that, I just want to take this time to congratulate Mr. Dawn on your appointment as the incumbent CEO for Cricket PNG. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's an exciting opportunity to be involved with PNG Cricket.
All right, we'll go straight into our questions. Just tell us, as I'm aware, there will be an upcoming ICC Men's T20 World Cup East Asia Pacific qualifier fixtures in Port Moresby next month. Just tell us a bit about the actual dates of the international fixtures and how many teams are expected here.
Yeah, we have 4 teams in the tournament. We have obviously PNG as the host, Philippines, Vanuatu, and Japan. They arrive in around the 20th of July. The tournament starts on the 22nd of July and runs through to the 30th of July this year. Important tournament for everybody because the winner of that tournament goes directly through to the ICC World T20 World Cup in the USA and West Indies in July 2024.
I was going to ask you about the significance of this tournament. As you have just mentioned, winner goes to West Indies. So I believe there is a squad that is currently preparing for this tournament. Is that the final squad, or are we expecting the final squad in the coming months to be announced?
No, we've just selected the squad, the final squad, so that'll be announced in the next few days. The players have been training a lot over the last several months. They came back from Namibia in the previous tournament and been working really hard on fitness, on their skills, to be ready for the tournament.
All right, Mark Coles, who was the former Barramundis coach, was in charge of the team to Namibia and also to Dubai. Just tell us a bit about who's taken charge with the team now.
Yeah, I mean the timing of Mark Coles leaving was a little bit unfortunate given the importance of this qualifier. We haven't been able to appoint a new head coach full time, so we've taken the approach that we're going to bring in as much experience around the players as we can, and that includes a number of people who have been involved with the players before. So as an interim head coach, we've named Nathan Reardon, who was Joe Dawes offsider going back 2 or 3 years, so he knows the players very well. A very good performer himself. And someone who brings a lot of experience to the team. We've supported him with Justin Stearns, who is a former Queensland Bulls coach, was actually interim coach I think 3 times with the Bulls, but never finished up with the top job unfortunately, but he's a very, very knowledgeable player and coach. So Justin's there, and we've involved a couple of other people along the line, so we're trying to keep consistency across the board in the coaching staff we're using through till July.
The Barramundis have not been performing well in their last tour early this year. Are there any expectations to turn things around since we're going to be having the home crowd advantage on our home soil?
Yeah, I mean our expectations are always high. We expect to win. The team, unfortunately, over the last couple of years in the 50 over competition, the qualifying structure for the 50 over World Cup, didn't perform as we probably will have liked, but that's what we've tried to rectify. So now they're back, they've gone into a T20 phase, different game, different format. We qualified for the previous T20 World Cup, so we've got history of having done that before, and we fully expect to do well again this time.
All right, apart from the ICC T20 tournament, what are some of the other tournaments lined up for the Barramundis?
Yeah, they go to a qualifier as well in September. That's in Vanuatu. And again, if they qualify there, they move on actually to another stage to qualify for the main event. But our Lewas have done particularly well over the last 12 to 18 months. Team of the Year at the SP Sports Awards recently, which was a great accolade for them as a group. And they're ranked 12th in the world now, which raises everybody's expectations. We've got some good young players coming along, so the Lewas will go to that qualifier. We're also playing T20 Smash for the Lewas over the next couple of weeks, which we'll use as a selection process for that event. And then those events start rolling on through 2023 and 2024. I mean, currently with both squads, we're waiting for the ICC to announce the actual competition structure for the next cycle, 4-year cycle. So.
Thank you, Richard, for giving us an update on the Barramundis as well as the Lewas. I will now head over to Margaret. I understand you recently visited Kerema Town, which is my home place, and launched the Santos Love Cricket program. Just tell us a bit about this particular program and its mission.
Okay, Love Cricket was piloted in Kerema for 6 months last year in 2022. And it was just a pilot program, and we told the community and the schools out there that if we make it to 2023, you'll see us back again. So the pilot program has brought us a lot of interest from the children and the schools, and especially the community around there with parents, because most of the children out there only knows how to play basketball, rugby and soccer, and cricket became a new event to them, especially just by looking at the TV or hearing from radio or media. The actual game was brought to them and they were surprised. They were so excited. So that's how it started, and this is our second year at Kerema. We are targeting 16 schools. Last week, we managed to only reach 5 schools for the meeting and consultation, but the team are going out there to the other side of the river to go and visit the other 4 schools, so we managed to reach out to other schools. We are yet to go to the high schools because of the mode of transportation, the road, but otherwise the schools are looking forward to have the program.
All right, as you mentioned, the program was established in 2022. What are some of the challenges that you've encountered while running this program? And apart from holding the program, launching the program in Kerema, will there be other provinces that you will be also visiting in the coming months?
As you all know, in Papua New Guinea, funding is a constraint to run a program. At this moment, we are not so sure, but Kerema has become one of our 12th center for a cricket development program, and we are planning to do that in the other centers, and probably we should be, not probably, but we should be looking at the programs, especially to do with the BSP school cricket program. We should have other 2 provinces joining us to add to the number.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Just lastly, before we let you guys go, back to you, Richard. Your first time in office, can you just share to us what are some of the visions that you would like to achieve as the incumbent CEO for Cricket PNG?
Performing on the global stage and growing the number of people who play the game. We really want to make people more aware of the game in PNG, so more people are interested in cricket, but also doing that through having a social impact on the community. And there are a number of projects we have running, including Santos Love Cricket, that are really important to us to make sure that we have an impact. So for us, I think if we can achieve those things in a broad way, then we'll have achieved some success for the sport.
All right, thank you very much, Margaret and Richard, for making time to come on Sports Scene. It was my pleasure having you on board, and we wish you all the best going into your future endeavors.
Thank you, David.
Good night, David.
Good night.
All right, we'll take a short break now, and we will return with more here on Sports Scene. Stay with us. Welcome back, and you're watching Sports Scene. Joining me on this segment is Port Moresby Softball Association's Vice President, Isikel Tovia, as well as the competition manager, Consie Bais. They will be here to give an update on the competition, which is currently into its final stages. Guys, good night and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Good night.
All right, we'll start with Consie. Just give us a rundown on how the competition has been running throughout the season.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, we've had 10 weeks of normal competition, and we're into our finals that started last weekend, and this weekend we'll see our second round of finals.
All right, just highlight a bit about the teams that are currently in the finals.
So at the finals, we have our top 5 for both A and B grade divisions. In the B grades, we have Gazelle as our minor premiers, and in the A grade, we had Power as our minor premiers for the A grade division. For B grade, finished second was Defense, followed by Aces, Kikila Cats, and United Brothers. And in the B grade, A grade, we had Power, Defense, United Brothers, Bears, and Gazelle.
All right, thank you, Consie. The Vice President, Mr. Tovia, what are some of the major challenges that you've encountered for the competition during this season?
I think for the competition itself, I think a bit of some, I guess, disruptions. I guess the only challenges was the disruptions with the competition with the weather. That's probably kind of delayed the competition. But in terms of running the competition, there were no major challenges. I think the challenge was the major challenge was getting all the teams coming in and actually starting the comp. That was the main challenge. But once the teams got into the competition, everything just flowed, and then now we're into the finals.
All right, Consie, back to you. Who were some of the new teams that made the debut this season?
Yes, the new team that joined this season is Eastern Aces Softball Club. They're a new team that joined us.
All right, this particular team, Aces, as you mentioned, what is it made up of? What's the player range like?
They have a good stock of players that they have recruited from existing clubs, mainly Defense, United Brothers, Stingers. So they recruited well off season, and they had a good season. Unfortunately, they missed out on the final series, but the B grade made the finals.
All right, there's been a select side, the Port Moresby select side, who will be attending a international tournament in Indonesia in the coming months. Just tell us a bit about that select side and what are you guys looking forward to achieve going into this tournament?
Yes, so we've come up with a select side. The team was basically selected during our Moneyball tournament that we hosted in April this year. And over a period of the 10 weeks during the competition, that select side was monitored by our head coach and the selection committee. And we've come up with a 14-man squad. And that squad will be traveling to Indonesia, Makassar. And that competition will run from September 17th to 24th. And yeah, so currently the guys are going through their training, also whilst training for their club games. Currently we're getting them they're into their gym sessions and their strength and conditioning. But we're looking to send this team across. It was actually an invitation from the Makassar softball to the Port Moresby Men's Softball Association to participate in this tournament. That tournament is an annual event that's always hosted in Makassar. So this would be the first time that Port Moresby Softball Association will be sending a team over to Indonesia, and it's exciting. We're sending the team to actually go out there, and I guess what we want to achieve out of that is, exposing our players or our affiliates or in the Port Moresby Men's Association to go out and explore how softball is actually played in the other parts of outside of Papua New Guinea, and it's just mainly around the exposure that we want to give the players.
All right, guys, thank you very much. But just before you go, we have the finals this weekend and the grand final next week. So you guys looking for a successful season to wind it up?
Yeah, we're actually looking forward to the remaining final fixtures. Once that is done, then we'll have to concentrate on the team, sending over the team. But on that, we'll also start our junior competition as well. We actually started off in January, early this year. And then this is the second, the phase 2 part of the competition, and that will start in August. So, and that's sponsored by our friends at PSP. So we're looking, forward to ending this year, but we also want to get the juniors involved as well, and try to grow the court as well.
All right, there you have it. That was the vice president of Port Moresby Softball Association, as well as the competition manager, Consie Bais, giving us an update on their finals and their plans going into the future. Guys, thank you very much for joining me on the show and making time to come on set. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll take a short break now and we'll return with more here on Sports In. Welcome back, and you're watching Sports In. All right, we will go straight into our weekend previews for what's coming up this weekend. We'll start with NRL Round 18 Test Day. We'll see the Sharks taking on the Dragons. Then on Friday night's doubleheader, we'll see the Warriors going up against the Rabbitohs, and the Storms taking on the Panthers in an exciting match to watch. Then on Saturday's triple header, the Raiders will go up against the Titans, Cowboys taking on West Tigers, and the Dolphins are taking on the Brisbane Broncos. Then on Sunday's doubleheader, Bulldogs going up against the Knights, and Sea Eagles taking on the Roosters, while Eels will be on bye for this weekend. One of the games to look out for is the Storms and Panthers. This game will determine who sits on top of the NRL ladder. Another draws Force Plus Cup Round 16. On Saturday, Bears will take on the Falcons, PNG Hunters going up against Queensland Capras, Pride taking on Tigers, the Dolphins taking on Blackhawks, Magpies will take on Clydesdales, Jets taking on Cutters, and North Devils taking on Tweed Head Seagulls to wrap up Round 16 of the Host Plus Cup competition. To the PNG NRLC Round 12 draws, Next Tigers will take on Kimbe Cutters, Sipit Pride going up against the Rabaul Gurus, Vipers taking on Central Dabaris, the Mandi Muruks will be going up against Mount Hagen Eagles, Lahanis will take on Anger Milks, and Ella Wigman going up against the Gulf Iso. Port Moresby men's semi-finals draws, Gessel will go up against Defence, AS will take on Kilala Saint. For the Port Moresby men's softball B grade draws, Gessel will take on Defence, and AS taking on Kikila Cats. For the men's A grade draws, Power taking on United Brothers, and Defence going up against Gessel. And that was the weekend sporting previews for what's coming up this weekend. I will be sharing all the content online, so do hit like on our Facebook page as well. and share all the videos as much as you can. Also, if you do have story tips or sporting events that you would like us to come and cover, do not hesitate to contact us on the following numbers on the screen. Call us on 312-9229 or email sportscene@mtv.com.pg, or you can visit us at Garden City Level 2 Boroko. Do make sure to leave your name so we can always get back to you. That's about it. Unfortunately, this is where I get to say goodbye. But again, thanks for joining me on the show for tonight. It was a pleasure having your company, and we shall do this again, same time, same place next week, right here on your #1 to watch, MTV. Till then, good night and God bless.